lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another chat with TWT. Today's video is actually going to be about Jen Abmah and her ex, Jack. So at the time of writing this, they were not together. I actually wrote this video back in April, and since then, they got back together. And I tried to adjust the video, but then before I even had time to record the audio, he was back with his wife, Kathy. So bear with me. I'm just going to stick to the original audio, and then afterwards I'll be like, okay, that's where... You know, at the time of writing this, it was different because I did try to adjust it a couple of times, but I can't keep up with these people. So let's just start. It's been a while since they broke up, but it looks like Jen Abmah and her ex, Jack Schultz, are having a roller coaster relationship on social media. For all the newbies on the page, let's just rewind. Jack and Jen started dating after she ended her relationship with her ex-boyfriend, Matt. And while we're not exactly sure what kicked off Jack and Jen's relationship, it does seem that sparks must have been flying when she was with her ex, Matt, as pictures later surfaced of them all posing together for Community Against Predators. So this is an organisation that Jack either runs or he has a fairly big role in it. Now, it's no surprise that Jen clings on to the next man she met through her boyfriend at the time, considering that her ex, Matt, also used to work with Jake Ryan, who's a radio host and Jen's baby daddy of her second living child, Ariel, who also has sole custody. So he has sole custody of Ariel because of a little bit of an incident. So if you look back on my YouTube, you'll probably see this incident, but basically there is a recording where he's gone around to see this baby, to pick the baby up, and the baby was in one of those bouncers on the floor, and she's obviously come out at some point and she's rolled about a meter away from this bouncer and she's crying. She's face down and she's crying and crying and crying. And you can hear Jake in the video and he's like, "It's okay, Ariel, I'm coming, baby, just stay calm, And then he records this for a while and you can hear him saying, "This has been half an hour now, I'm going to open the door." And I can see why, because in past incidences, allegedly, Jen has reported exes to the police saying they broke into her house and things like that. So this was just a way for Jake to be able to cover his ass when it comes to, her saying, "Well, he broke into my house." So he's obviously gotten the baby, and then at the end of the video, you can see him recording her in her bedroom, and she's laying in a bed. There's a bottle beside her bed, which looks like a large Fanta bottle or a Sprite bottle. It was like a large bottle of something, and people made assumptions that this had alcohol in it and that she'd been drinking and she was asleep and sleeping through this baby, just crying hysterically. But anyways, from what we've been told, this is actually the reason why Jake was awarded custody for Ariel, and Jen hasn't seen her again to this day. So luckily, even though it was such a sad situation, I mean, if you've seen the video, it was actually heart-wrenching, but at the same time, it did serve a purpose, and now we know that Ariel is always going to be safe because she's now with her dad, who takes amazing care of her. So most of us know Jen's background, but let's take a look at Jack Schultz. Before I continue, I just want to give you all a heads up that some of the terms I may be using might be a little bit confusing. It seems that YouTube is now censoring certain words, so we have to tiptoe around them by replacing these words. So if I do leave you confused with some of the terminology they use, please just drop a comment below and I'll clear it up for you, okay? Anyways, as I said before, Jack is involved in a program called Community Against Predators and claimed to be against child AB and child ABers, and we first noticed him when this picture was posted on Facebook by Zach Gladue? I don't know. But this picture was of Jen's oldest child, Anastasia, with Jack Schultz, and the caption read, "No matter what people have to say about my guy, Jack Schultz, when it comes to a child, Jack is there faster than anyone I know." And now in this picture, as you can see, he's sitting there with drawn pictures and he's on the couch with Anastasia, which is Jen's oldest daughter. Now, given Jen's history with CPS and other claims against her, including Munchausen's by proxy, it was first speculated that perhaps Anastasia was one of the children that was being helped in a neglect or possible AB case. But after a TWT took a deep dive into Jack's page, they come across this picture with Jen, her ex Matt, Anastasia, and Jack. The picture was captioned, "Jenna Lynn, welcome to Communities Against Predators." Now, at this time, obviously, he is with his wife, Kathy, and she is dating Matt, who's hugging her in the picture. So we have Jack and Jen working for an organisation against child abusers, which I want you guys to keep in mind for later on in this video. One submission came into TWT from a local who had said that Jack was not the upstanding citizen that he claimed to be, and that he had allegedly been known for physically fighting, which is pretty toxic considering this is a middle-aged man. And after looking through his social media, there was some discussions about him going to court on his Facebook page. Now, we don't know a lot about what happened during this incident, but it seems Jack posted a video that could possibly be directed at this person's taunting them and calling them a child abuser. While the video was super cringe to watch an old man threaten physical AS, it was the way Jack's son reacted in the video that had people shocked. Listen to the audio.
You think I'm worried? You think you got me scared? I don't even have to answer. I'll let my son speak on my behalf. Hey, Riley, this child thinks he's gonna fight Dad.
My dad's gonna fuck you up.
Do I need to say anything more?
This was posted on his Facebook page, and in the video, he's wearing a beanie advertising this organisation. And I know almost all of us are for these kinds of organisations, but a lot of people felt like he was almost making a mockery out of the other advocates. This is about fighting for children. It's not macho, chest thumping, and acting like a show pony. When it comes to topics as serious as these, you expect advocates to take it seriously and act professional. And his later actions prove to so many that maybe he doesn't care so much for children's rights as he claims to. During Kathy and Jack's breakup and the beginning of Jen and Jack's relationship, a lot of dirty laundry was aired on Facebook. This is what Jack posted about his ex-wife. Catherine Coombs, because you thought I would never leave you, you realise now that I'm moving forward without you. You start messaging who I'm with, telling her I was begging to have sex with you the other day. Here is the truth. Now, if you continue harassing me, I'll post all chats, pictures and videos. I'm not the guy you want to try this with, Catherine. You should know better and know that I will give you a backlash like you have never seen before. And then it says, who the is begging who? And it's basically Kathy saying, I'm sorry, Jack, in the chats. Yuck. This guy's gross. Who would speak to the mother of their children in this sort of a manner on social media? This woman deserves so much more than this man. How vile. And of course, Jen had to step in and say something too. And this is what Jen commented. After she had the opportunity and chose to sleep with other people behind your back, after telling you how horrible you are, after using the kids as weapons and involving the kids, filling their heads with shit, after tracking your locations and purchases, after changing the locks, after the public humiliation posts, after all the things you paid for she uses against you, after getting away with abuse because you didn't want to wreck your family or the kids' mum not be around, after harassing you entire nights, playing the victim, justifying everything she's done, after threatening suicide when she doesn't get her way, after you're still going there to help when she needs it even though she's toxic, after her getting friends and family involved publicly, the list goes on. It's a pity party because you're happy, and when you're happy, it takes away the control she has had for so long. She knows the effort you made and felt so low and made you feel so low and worthless, she had to convince you that you were the problem. She continues on to say, you continue to fight for your family. She never thought the day would come and you were strong and confident enough to realize what you deserve, what you need, and walk away. She took for granted all you are and sees that you are happy without her. I love you and I'm sorry this is happening. Let it build you, not break you. While what Jen claims could be true, it also could be fabricated by Jack. A lot of time when people initiate affairs, it starts by one person talking badly about their spouse to a new potential partner, which is a way to indicate weakness and give the impression that their relationship is coming to an end, and therefore also implying that they are available. Either way, it was definitely none of Jen's business to weigh in on their relationship, especially not on a Facebook where their family and friends can see it. But this wasn't the last time that Jen would insert herself unnecessarily into Jack's family business. During their breakup, Jack allegedly picked up his and Kathy's son and refused to return him. Jen spitefully put up pictures of herself and Jack and Kathy's son to flaunt it in Kathy's face. Jen posted these pictures on Facebook and captioned it with, Most handsome little dude ever, always a big old smile, such a gentleman just like his daddy, and always wanting to snuggle. My God. But the text message exchange between Jen and Jack's 14-year-old daughter was what truly was disgusting. And to be honest, I have no clue why Kathy would ever take this man back, knowing the things he allowed Jen to write in detail to his daughter about his and Jen's romantic relationship. Jack's daughter posted the following text messages to Facebook with this caption. She says, Jenna Lynn, or should I say Jennifer Abma, really talking to me like that, talking to a 14-year-old girl like that, not even half of it. Watch these videos and find out who she really is. Jenna was texting me off my dad's number. During these text messages, Jen wrote to Jack's biological daughter saying, he said stop calling him dad as he straight out told you. Jen goes on to taunt the 14-year-old by calling her and her mother names and saying, hold on, I'm cuddling my stepson, which was during the time that Jack had taken his son and refused to return him to Kathy, who was his wife. But the most disgusting part of all of this was when Jen sent a text message saying, does your mummy want to see me ride your stepdaddy? Disgusting. Seriously, how sick is that? And Jack allowed and encouraged this, a man who supposedly is a community advocate fighting against child predators, allowing his girlfriend to write something this perverted. This has seriously made most followers question his authenticity. Also posted on Jack's daughter's Facebook was this phone call between her and Jen. Now, please keep in mind that the girl speaking to Jen is only 14 years old at the time. She's clearly very upset, as you can hear her shaking in the voice, and it sounds like she's been crying if you listen before the call connects. And we know that some of the things she herself says to Jen aren't the nicest things. You have to remember this is a 14-year-old girl who's very distressed with what's happening with her parents, and her dad has just pushed her off to the side. Jen, on the other hand, is a grown woman who knows better, and Jack is meant to be her father, who's supposed to be protecting her, but instead of telling his girlfriend that her behaviour is unacceptable, he laughs at her and mocks her. Let's listen to that call.
Hi. How are you?
Is there a point to this? Like, this is the most childish shit of my entire life.
Says you.
You guys have nothing better to do?
Okay, Jenna, you need to actually f*** off. You're a skanky ass hoe who only wants to put wedges in people's, life. Actually, oh my god, you're mimicking a 14-year-old. Oh, but you're so good to Jack's kids, huh? Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm not his kid. I forgot. I'm not his kid.
Well, then fuck off.
You f*** off, Jenna. Literally, no one likes you. You're a fake ass bitch who fakes shit for attention. That's all you are. You're a lying, attention-seeking f***ing whore.
What the fuck is this? This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I'm sorry, honey, but your opinion does not affect me.
Oh my god, okay. We'll see about that. We'll see. When all of your little friends, Jack, when all your little friends on social media see who you f***ing really are. Oh, baby. Ass.
And yes, that was Jack, this child's father and supposedly child protector, laughing and mimicking and mocking her in the background while she's crying and upset. Anyways, obviously that relationship didn't last very long. They jumped in and then he ended up going back to his wife, Kathy, anyway. So let's fast forward. Jack posted this picture on his Facebook accusing Jen of making fake accounts to stalk them. This is what the caption reads. It was a hit it and quit it kind of thing. The only feelings I had was a feeling I got at the end of my D when I blew my load. Now I suggest you slow your fucking roll before Kathy slows it for you. And this time I suggest you take my advice. Seeing as she has your phone number and address, stop messaging my family. So obviously he's accusing Jen now of messaging and stalking and harassing him. So okay. Now I don't know about you guys, but if I was Kathy and my self-esteem was that low that I decided to take this dirtbag back, I want to completely forget about that any of that had ever happened and never speak about it again. How embarrassing for Kathy to have all of her family and friends read this status and then threatening Kathy onto Jen. Excuse me, why does Kathy have to clean up your mess, Jack? And while we do know that Jen is queen of fake accounts, let's not act like she's the only one that despises Jack. But then fast forward to just a few weeks ago, and Jack posts his status about Jen and how he's waiting for the taxi to come. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now, I don't know if he actually ever did start sleeping with Jen again, or if he was just posting those things so that Kathy might have thought he was sleeping with Jen and would come running back. But what an absolute dirtbag. This is the mother of your kids, and you're going to treat her that way. And Kathy, she took him back. She took him back. After all of this, she took him back again. Kathy, for the love of God, I am sure you will find a man that treats you so much better than that pig. Okay, like, I understand you've had children with him and it's a very hard situation to get out of, but even looking at like their Facebook history, and you can see everything, like every argument they've ever had, and you know, when he took their young child, you know, he went to their house, picked up all their stuff and then left a note saying like, I warned you. That is abusive. I don't care which way you look at it, that's abusive. It's emotional abuse. I don't know what goes on physically, but emotionally, I've watched it go down on Facebook, and that man is horrendous. But the biggest thing is, what I understand is, how can you sit there and pretend that you're some sort of a child advocate when you're letting your girlfriend write things like, oh, do you want to see your step-mummy ride your daddy, and things like that? That is predatory. That's disgusting. And then you've got this man, and like, this is the thing, he reckons everybody in his community loves him and they're all thankful for all the things that he's done. But then you've got other people in the community that aren't so appreciative, you know, like there's a few instances, and that's the thing, like Jack, he's not trained in anything. So he tries to like lure out child predators, and then, you know, he plays his big vigilante. So from what I've heard, there's been a couple of times where he'll make a fake account of a girl that looks around, you know, could be underage, maybe not, and we'll start messaging men, and then we'll lure those men to a house party, and when they turn up, they beat the crap out of them. That's what I've heard. That's happened a couple of times. And I mean, this man lured his own son in and had his son arrested as a... So I don't know. I don't get what's going on here. I don't really see it the way he sees it, like he thinks it's this big positive thing. But at the end of the day, he's not trained to do that. There are police officers that are trained to, you know, go online and find child predators, whereas, and make sure that they are, instead of like luring them like half, you know, like this halfway sort of thing. Like, you don't know what he's used, what pictures he's used. Like, those men could have come to that house and went, holy crap, like, you look really young, how old are you? And they're like, oh, you know, we're 15. And they'll be like, see ya. You know, you don't know what's going to go on. And that's the reason why there are police officers that are trained to do it, to make sure it's done the right way. Because God knows what the conversation that Jack's had with these people as those girls to lure them in there. Like, you don't know. He could have been like, oh, no, I'm 19. And, you know, if a girl says they're 19, a lot of the time you probably think they're 19. Like, I know I lied about my age when I was younger. Now I look back at it and I think, oh, my God, that's terrible. But a lot of us did do it when we were younger because we wanted to hang out with the cool guys, you know. So, you know, the way he's gone about it is he's not trained in any way to do any sort of work like this. And, you know, opening up an organisation doesn't automatically give you qualifications. And for someone to like go out of his way to pin his child down for, you know, being a... That's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy. And I know Jake, who is the fella that Jen used to date, who has Ariel, when Jen and Jack were dating, he said he was receiving messages on Instagram from girls that appeared to be underage or like borderline where you would question it, and trying to like G him up to come to parties and stuff like that. And he knew straight away. He's like, this is weird. Like, why are these girls messaging me? And obviously we know that Jake is not a predator, so there's no issue there. But that is the problem here. Jack does not go in trying to serve anyone's purpose but his own. You know, he's just trying to get to pull Jake down because that is Jen's ex. And so he's doing his best to like target people that he's, you know, for all we know, he probably had an argument with his son and thought, oh, I'm going to set this, you know, I'm going to set him up right now. And that's the problem here. He is not trained to do any of these things. And I know a lot of people said that the police were kind of like, there was at one point where he was actually facing prosecution because of the way he was doing this and like luring people in, because it's not done correctly. You know, it has to be done correctly, because God knows what actually went down. Like, if you're not trained in those situations, you could be doing something completely the wrong way. You know, it's the same as when you're working with small children, you know, and you've got to talk to CPS, and you have to, like, CPS has to question those children, or you've got to question those children, but you can't, you know, say things that might plant a seed in a child's brain because, like, their imagination or whatever. You need to have training in that, and that's exactly the same for, like, child predators. You need to have training so that, you know, anything that you do find will hold up in court. Anyways, guys, that is definitely enough rambling from TWT today. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you on the page at TWT 5.0. Bye.